To you. Happy birthday, dear Mommy. Happy birthday to you. It's like we really surprised her, huh?
Don't say anything until you blow the candles out or the wish won't come true.
Is it really you?
Who else would it be?
Paula, it's so great to have you here.
Oh, thank you so much for having me.
So congrats on the new series.
Thank you.
Premieres tonight on ABC. And you play a news producer who pretty much helps the police track down a serial killer. And if you saw the clip before this, it's pretty intense. How would you describe it in your own words?
Well, in the end, it's not about her job, but you know, we watch these things and then something hits really close to home, and this hits her really close to home. And so, essentially, she's a human being that faces one of the greatest tragedies and challenges of her life, and then she gets this really weird, surreal, unique moment and chance to go back 8 days before this horrible thing has happened and change her fate. And essentially, it's really about who are we when our back is against the wall? What secrets are we hiding from ourselves, from other people? What things surprise us? Because the Laura you meet at the beginning of the show is not the Laura you meet at the end. And I mean, it surprised me, to be honest with you. She's this animal-like character in her, and she's quite a beast to contend with.
So when you first were approached about this series, what attracted you to it from the get-go?
Well, you know, the thing is that for me I read the scripts and I want to see first and foremost, is it something that I'd want to watch myself? Mm-hmm. Does it move me? Does it move my soul, my heart? And then you look at the character, and something about this and the way it was written, the story intrigued me, the idea and the challenge of this. The stakes are really high, and this race against time, and even though I'm like, gosh, I mean, I've had regrets, but I wouldn't change anything in the end. But I like this idea, though, that we have the power to change our future. We definitely have the power to change our fate right here and now, and I think that the story speaks to that on a larger level.
And you play a mom in the series. You're a mom in real life. What about that did you bring to the character of Laura?
The truth is that, I mean, I don't know how you can't take some of your own personal life and add it to the character. And I mean, if you're a parent, you know that there's no one you would more give your life for than your own child. So in that way, of course, I related to Laura. And then you have to imagine, you know?
Yeah. Laura is, in the first premiere episode, I just have to say, it's really intense and a lot happens. It's amazing. Can you kind of unpack that first episode and sort of tease where we might be going in the next episode?
I have to be honest with you, this is really hard to do because we had a unique thing with this show. We shot it like a movie in many ways. So it's a 10-hour movie, but one director per 2 episodes. So to say what's in the first episode is very hard for me because we shot 1 and 2 together, which is great because the way that they show it on ABC is that they're going to show Monday is 1 and Tuesday is 2, and then it goes from there on Tuesdays. So I don't really know exactly what happens in 1. I could just say 1 and 2.
Yeah, absolutely.
So 1
yeah.
and 2 is at first it's getting to know this woman and this life that she's had, and then this happens to her, this tragedy, and then all of a sudden, you know, this kind of, I don't know, it's like you and I sitting here and then suddenly a black hole, all of us.
Yeah.
And a black hole just suddenly like appearing and we just jump down in it and we're, you know, 8 days before it right now. And then from there it goes on and we don't, as the audience, you don't really know what's happened and you learn it with her. And then it becomes this sort of murder mystery, a love story. I don't know, it's an action thrill ride. It goes in many different directions.
Was it based on another series, and a Korean mystery series, right? Is that
Yes.
yes? And did you know about that? Did you watch it since then?
Yes, I knew it was based on a Korean TV show. My mom, she's a huge fan of Korean television, actually. She's like really a big fan. And I knew that it was really good, but I couldn't watch it because I thought if I do, then I'll try to either copy it or try to like really not copy it. And, you know, just that you'd be in your head. And so I'm actually excited to watch it this summer and kind of do a binge watch with it. But
What else are you binge watching right now?
oh gosh. Well, I have. I mean, I really like House of Cards and Narcos, and I really like the. But it's called the Santa Clarita Diet with Drew Barrymore and Timothy Olyphant. He does both of them awesome in that, and I love. I mean, you know, I love all the documentary stuff that you can watch on television, and then I end up often just watching trailers. I don't know if you guys do that. Like for forever watching all the like possibilities and then never watch anything.
Well, I mean, how do you even have time, right? I mean,
There's so many amazing options, but
so with this series, it's dubbed as a limited series. And of course, I haven't seen the whole series yet. I'm excited too. Does it lend itself to more series, another season down the line?
you know, it's one of those things because it was such a joy to make, we hope so.
Okay.
But the idea was that it was meant to be a one-off and that the audience hopefully will be satisfied on episode 10. There is a resolution. But, you know, there's always, I mean, when it was a really amazing experience, like a real joy to make this. And so we hope that maybe to find a way to make a new story in some kind of way, but well, you know, who knows? It was hard to say goodbye.
What was the most challenging part of playing Laura Price?
Gosh, you know, I don't think about things in most, and think I don't have favorites, so it's really hard. I think the hardest part probably was just remembering that the race against time and how high the stakes were, that you were constantly putting yourself in that place, that to understand how urgent it was and is. And so hopefully that's also entertaining to people because, you know, it's serious subject matter, but it's also meant to be entertaining. And a lot of it's quite, you know, it's quite fun. And there is, you know, the good news is that, you know, there's this tragedy at the beginning, but then there's hope that that can be fixed straight away.
You said you didn't have many regrets in life, but this story is...
Oh, I have a lot of regrets. I just...
But,
oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I stay up at night thinking about things. But
don't we all?
But I don't think about change. I think that, you know what, at the end of the day, you're just... Everything happens exactly how it should, you know?
Right. So, like, you've never... I mean, this is all about changing fate, but if you had the chance to, would you change? Or do you think it all kind of happens because of the time?
I mean, you think about it, and you just, if you undid that one thing, then the thing that you like in your life, that would change. And it's like, it's annoying, but without fail, the most challenging moments when everybody says, but you know what, you're gonna think this moment or this thing later or whatever happened. You know what, you always do. It's really weird. It helps you grow or it brings you somewhere else. And I was actually thinking today about this. I put my leg through grass. It's a long story. But that injury brought me to someplace else and to learn about something else and meet other kind of people. And so you wouldn't want to change anything, I don't think, in the end.
You yourself called yourself a late bloomer when it comes to acting, because you got started doing producing, et cetera, first. Do you think that helped your career in the long run?
I don't know if it helped. I mean, again, it's like everything happens how it's supposed to happen. For me, I'm grateful for it because I think that it's good to have to work hard for things, you know, and, even when you like really like, oh, this doesn't seem fair. But and I think just having the experience of knowing what else is behind filmmaking, and I think sometimes as an actor you can get confused and think that it's about you, but it's a collaborative art form, and it takes many people to make it, and that's the beauty of it. That's why I love movies so much, is that, you know, it's the art making of a novel and the script, and it's the music, and it's the painting, the photography, and it's all these things that come together to make, you know, a great piece of art and entertainment.
You're sitting behind the camera for a new movie called Traffik. You're a producer and you're starring in the film. What's that all about?
This is, you know, it's the beginning of a dream for me. I really love making films, and so with myself and this director Dion Taylor, we were able to make this film called Traffik, and I'm one of the producers, but in a more creative way than I've ever been before. And it's a suspense thriller, but it's in the world of human trafficking, which I think is, you know, I don't think people realize. I didn't even realize how prevalent it is, and I think we're just beginning to understand it.
Wow. When will we see this this come out? Do you know yet?
We've gotten a bit of good news about it, but I probably shouldn't say anything yet. But I think probably top of the year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So what do you love about being behind the scenes? What's it that really excites you?
Well, I think, you know, it's being a part of the creative process and having a say in that. But more importantly, I think that what's really important is that, I mean, the thing I don't like about filmmaking, to be honest with you, is the hierarchy of it. This idea that one person is better than the next, and it's one of the things I dislike the most. And I guess what I think is so important is to give everybody a voice, and to make sure that, you know, your cast and your crew are really well taken care of, so that together, I think, when you give people a voice and you inspire them, and you know, and you nurture and you know, and you respect them, you can get an amazing product and have an amazing experience. And when you don't, it can be challenging.
Sure. At what point in your life did you say, okay, I want to be an actress. I know this is what I want to do?
I wanted to be an actress since I was a little girl. I remember, you know, putting on plays in my parents' backyard and talking to myself and acting out parts. And then I went to high school, and I went to performing arts high school, and there I met this guy. He was just a friend, but he was a Spike Lee wannabe, and it was the time of Do the Right Thing, and he dressed like him, the whole thing. And it was the first time I had an idea of, you know, the filmmaker as the author of something. I didn't understand how films were made, essentially, until that moment. And it started with Spike Lee, and then I thought, well, I'd like to make stories like that. And so I went to film school, and I graduated, and in that time got, you know, a bit shy and insecure, but really loved filmmaking and worked as a PA and assistant. But I knew I was kind of lying to myself, because I remember I was driving to San Francisco to be a PA on a film. It's actually really hard to get those jobs, and so I could work as a local if I stayed with my brother's friend. And I remember they told me that the lead girl had dropped out, and I remember the whole drive to San Francisco, I just dreamt that they would see me and that they would like put me in the film, and that didn't happen. They said, you know, charge these walkie-talkie batteries and get us some coffee and shut up, basically. And but I realized in that moment, and it took me a while after that, but that was truly my dream.
Wow. You said you were shy. I can't imagine that. But were you shy for a good part of your life, or was it just at that moment that you're like, oh?
You know what? I mean, it's a funny thing. I'm much more comfortable being a character than I am to be Paula myself. Like I wouldn't feel comfortable being a personality, you know? I get to hide behind the characters, and so it's that weird mix, right? That you are shy, but you do that work, or that that you have a lot of insecurities, but then you do that. It's a strange thing. I mean, I'll only speak for myself, and yet I'll also say that I know a lot of actors struggle with that, which is that there's a deep sense of insecurity and shyness in some end, and then there's this other thing that makes you perform and do what we do, you know? I haven't figured it out quite yet. I'm going to therapy. I'm going to sort it out.
Yeah, let's sort it out. It could help out a lot of things, right? Do you feel like, you know, in your career, you've played a lot of different roles. Is there a role yet that you're like, oh, I really want to do this type of genre, this type of part?
gosh, I don't know. I mean, there's so much I want to do, but I think, it'd be fun to do a period piece, really. But I would never want to limit it. I don't know what's coming my way. I guess I just want to work with really great people and just be inspired and have fun. I mean, I think the older I get, the more I realize how important it is to have fun with whatever you're doing, Like, life is too short.
Yeah, that is the truth. What do you do for fun when you're not acting? Because you're working quite a bit. What does Paula Patton do?
You gotta make work fun.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
But, gosh, what do I do? I mean, so much is with my child and just riding bikes and swimming and playing and then I just, you get with friends, you play music, you dance and enjoy life. I mean, I don't know.
I love it. I love to dance. I love that. It's true. There are, you've been in so many films and television shows through the years. We can't forget you. You're in Precious and played the teacher. Do you still have people come up to you and say, "Oh, that role was so important. That was a really meaningful film to me"?
No, I mean, I think that film in general just touched people, and I was just lucky to be a part of it.
Yeah. It was really amazing. I can't believe how many years have gone by now since that came out.
They shot it here in New York.
Well, it's amazing. So behind the scenes for Traffik, do you foresee yourself doing some more behind the scenes work or directing down the line?
Yes, definitely behind the scenes. I have such a tremendous respect for directors. I wouldn't want to flippantly say that that's something I'm going to do, but I won't say that's something I won't. We'll see what happens.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where it's like you already have that experience, and you did work for PBS, correct? Right, for a little bit. And
that was my first.
That was your first job, right?
Yeah. Well, they were taking 4 young people that were just out of high school to travel across the country and make documentaries about other young people throughout America. And I had happened to go to USC Film School in the summer and made a couple short Super 8 films. And by chance and luck, I had gotten this gig.
Amazing.
Yeah.
A lot of talk has been made about diversity in Hollywood and everything. Of course, we've been seeing that. Do you feel like we're making the right strides in that direction? There's been a lot more opportunities, some say, on places like Netflix or different television series.
I mean, progress never feels quick enough, does it? But do I feel progress in that people talk about it? It seems important to them. Yes, and that is a step in the right direction. I definitely feel a sense that people in the business, in those higher up areas that make those big decisions, that's important to them, and that it's something that they feel like they have to address. And that's probably for the first time that I've been in this business and alive ever heard people talk like that.
What do you think can be done to make it accelerate even faster or make it better?
I mean, what are you going to do? I don't know. I guess I've got many jokes for that.
Yeah.
Probably not appropriate. I'm going to stop myself. Just open your mind and your heart. Just continue to open your mind and your heart and understand that human beings experience things the same way, and it's that much more interesting when you do it outside of what you expect.
Right. Oh my gosh. So, okay, we have a few minutes left, and I want to return to somewhere between just for a few more minutes before we go to the end. How long did it take to film this? Because, you said it was how many episodes? 10 episodes?
It's 10 episodes, yes.
And what was it like day to day on the set? Did you get close with the castmates? And you have your daughter I don't know how old she is on the show. She's adorable.
She's 8 years old.
She's
She's
8.
amazing.
Okay,
Aria
amazing.
Birch. It's her first role.
Oh, wow.
She does a magnificent job, and I just talked to her yesterday, and it's really funny because you start off in one way, but at the end, I was like, I love you. Like, I really love you. It really, hurt. Like, don't get me started. And I miss her. And I miss everybody. It was a really amazing experience.
Yeah. So you are
we
staying
really
in
did
touch.
become a family. Absolutely. And I mean, that's when I went in to do this, it was a labor of love. It was a passion project. And the people that were involved in it, they felt the same way. And we came to work every day with that want and this drive to do that, make our best work, make it artistic. And so it was really a special moment in my life. I miss everybody tremendously.
Yeah, I mean, how does that stack up to other TV shows that you've been involved in or other roles that you tried out?
Well, this is the first time I've ever done television in this capacity. I've never done, a series for this long, so this is unique for me. I think that, a film is different And maybe I've worked on films that are longer, but longer only because maybe it took more action stunts or special effects, not because of the actual days of working together. And so that being said, we really had to we grew very close with one another.
So in the beginning of the interview, you said, okay, the 1 and 2 episodes are blurring. So does that mean you haven't seen the entire series yet?
I haven't seen anything.
Okay.
And
so,
I know I haven't seen it.
So we were watching the clip backstage. What's it like to watch yourself act out as Laura Price?
It's weird. I don't like to watch myself very much. I don't watch playback, which is when you do a take and then they'll say if you would like to watch it back. I never want to do it because I could pick myself apart and I'll never be able to get back out there again.
Oh.
So I don't know how to explain it. I think that for me, usually I watch it once and then I walk away.
So what about tonight? Will you be tuning in when it premieres? Or
I don't know.
No?
That's the truth.
Well, I know a lot of fans will be, so I'm excited about that.
My friends will do me like a radio play-by-play.
Yes, you're like, I can't watch it. Well, that's really exciting for all the fans and for ABC. But before we let you go, I'd love to get to some questions from the crowd here.
Hey, Paula.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you? So this role looks pretty intense. I know you've done some other dramatic roles, but is it hard ever to let go of a character, or like when you get home, do you still feel any of those feelings from like the shoot?
I think sometimes the part that you hang on to is more the beginning. So sometimes those days you have to tell people I'm not in a bad mood. I'm just getting in the zone. But when it's done, I have a real want and desire to laugh and sing and dance. And maybe sometimes I need to cry like another good 30, 60 seconds. But after that, I let it go, for sure.
Great.
Hello. Thank you for being here. So
Thank
what
you.
was the best piece of advice you was ever given to you when you started your career?
Oh, gosh. Well, in life, I think, is you have to have faith, and it's in your darkest hour that's just when the light comes, honest to goodness. It's just right when you think that it's the end, it's actually the beginning, and if you can just stay the course, you'll find it, and you have to be honest with yourself. You know what you really want or don't want. And then in terms of acting, it's about you work, prepare, learn your lines, know your character, but then when they yell action, let it all go and really just give yourself to the moment. And even if it was meant to be drama, but comedy is what comes out, that could be the magic. Who knows, but really let it go in that moment. That's my personal opinion. It's fun. You gotta take a jump.
All right, we have one last question.
Hello, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you, Lev?
Would you say that there's similarities between Somewhere in Between and then the movie Deja Vu?
I know what you mean because of a bit of that time travel element, but no, not too much. Very different characters and yeah, it's a different premise together, But I know what you mean. There's a similarity in that, Denzel in Deja Vu, he's trying to change fate, but and Laura certainly is. So roles are reversed, and a lot of the situations are reversed. But there's a touch of it, yeah.
Thanks for your question. I personally can't wait to see how this all plays out. Somewhere Between premieres tonight on ABC. Thank you so much for your time
Thank
today,
you so
Paula.
much.
Give it
I
up for Paula
appreciate it.
Patton.